All right, it's been a hot minute. Marauder Monday video number 4. Big delay in this. For those of you who know me, I'm someone that doesn't really upgrade phones very often. I just kind of run a phone until it doesn't work anymore. So my Galaxy Note 10, went through a lot with it. Was to the point where cord wouldn't plug in, wouldn't charge without a wireless charger, wouldn't, yeah, screen was cracked, backside was cracked, everything, and the microphone was shot. So I couldn't even make phone call without my headphones. So being able to record a video without a phone, without a microphone and whatnot just wasn't happening. So been a couple months, been a lot that's happened, but this is Marauder Monday, so quick little update on the truck. Welds are ground on the frame. Gone back over them with a cutoff wheel, all except for like 2 of them because I ran out of time the other night with my compressor recharging. And once I get those done, Cliff's gonna come over. We're gonna get this thing welded up, and I'm gonna try to have some paint on this chassis by Thanksgiving. So we will see, because it's only taken me like 3 years to do this 4-link project. And once that's done, truck should be able to move under its own power, and who knows, maybe we're just body and paint at that point. So wishful thinking, we'll see what happens. I'm trying. I actually had a guy tonight come look at the my F-250, my 69, the Westerner, at Carl's Jr. So we've kind of nicknamed it after what my friend used to call that burger in junior high. And seems pretty serious about buying it. And if that truck sells, that money goes towards the Mercury clone. So, well, not all of it, but you know, helps. So anyway, couple things. Got to go to California with my buddies Andy and James to the Grand National Truck Show in Pomona. I think it's the 3rd year they've done that show, kind of like the Grand National Roadster Show. Similar group of people, same promoters kind of thing. They have a Pinstripers panel jam down there. It was the first time I've gotten to go on a trip with those guys since before I've had kids or moved into this house or anything. So it'd probably been 7 or 8 years. And just got to go hang out for the weekend, pinstripe with some other guys down in California. Got to see the NHRA museum, got to go visit Coast Airbrush, get a little tour from Dave Monig. Showed us a bunch of cool new stuff, shared a bunch of other cool things in his life with us. Just very cool experience. And then we went and ate fish tacos at this little place right off the beach, Hermosa Beach. And then I did not grow up with a longboard. Andy and James decided we were going to longboard from one pier to another, and so my first experience on a longboard was a couple miles worth along the beach in California. I only ran over one person, so that was a win, but definitely something I could see me doing more of, but definitely kind of at a point in life too where it's like, I probably need to practice that more before I go do that again. But it was a blast. I got to meet some other stripers, got to bring home some cool stuff, and that kind of leads into this week's video. We're going to talk about stripe and swap. So if you've seen my Instagram, you've seen my Facebook, I recently held an event down in Spanish Fork where I used to work, and it was kind of just a rough starting out, kind of a thing that I've always wanted to go to, but I've never gotten an invite to something like this, and decided if that wasn't happening, it was time to just maybe throw my own party, do my own. So a couple ideas that come from that. So we've done a lot of charity work over the years. My first get together with other pinstripers was at the Autorama in 2013. All the panels we did for that were auctioned off for charity. Cool experience. Got to meet a bunch of other guys. And then we did that one more year before promoters changed, and then some other things changed, and there was no longer like a Pinstripers charity jam at Autorama in Salt Lake. From that, we started Culture Crash. Culture Crash has been a huge part of my life we started in 2014, so 11 years. That kind of started from us wanting to do the charity thing on our own terms, use our talents, use our artwork for good in the community, but also us have say in where the money was going. And actually give it to a charity that was showing us what they were doing with it rather than just kind of guessing, right? So the Angels Hands Foundation was a long-term group that we were working with as we did Culture Crash, and they invited us to their fundraiser at the end of the year every year where they covered what they were doing, and it was just awesome. Some other events we did over the years, there's always charity involvement at Ratfink, big pinstripers, custom artists, airbrush artists get together down in Manti. Just a bunch of different things. If you're an artist, if you're a pinstriper, anything, you usually get asked throughout the year to do trophies or something for car shows, some sort of donations for a fundraiser they have, whether it's a raffle or an auction or whatever. There's never-ending opportunities to do charity, right? Now, in my experience with that, some shows have been really awesome in taking care of those that have donated and taken time to provide for those shows. And others, it's kind of like, give us everything you can, and like, there's nothing in it for you. Like, kind of messed up when you're given your own time, talent, materials, and expenses to get somewhere, and then there's nothing in it for you. Not that like there has to be when you do charity work, but if you can't even like set out business cards or like advertise for yourself or like talk to people about doing a paying job outside of that, and they just want you to like sit there and like pump out artwork to make money for their charity, it's kind of messed up, right? So this trip we just went on to Pomona, I mean, there was a goodie bag, they took care of us, they fed us lunch, there's snacks throughout the day, they provided paint, like, so, you know, there was some expenses of our own involved in getting there, which was just cool to get to travel and go do our thing. But you know, the guys, Mike Donner and Marshall Knapp and their wives, the guys that put it on One Shot, they took good care of us and felt appreciated. That was awesome. And there's been plenty of other experiences like that where you're involved with giving up your time, materials, artwork to help some cause, whether it's, you know, suicide prevention or who knows what, all these different causes, veterans, all these different things we've done over the years. It's cool to be able to give back in a way like that, but it's also cool to feel that appreciation. So, if you're interested in having somebody come out and do artwork at your show, if you're interested in having someone donate to your cause, think of those little things you can do to sweeten the deal for them, because it keeps them coming back. It makes them feel appreciated. It makes them feel like their donation or their sacrifice was worthwhile, and it wasn't just give and no appreciation back. So providing food, helping with travel expenses, giving them a booth space, all those different things, shirts, goodie bags, you know, been the recipient of all sorts of different things over the years for things like that, and it's been awesome, and it helps make you want to keep coming back and support that, and you know, just makes you feel good. So with the extended charity work that seems never ending, I wanted to do something that was focused towards just pinstripers, and so we have had a lot of different panel jams or brush bashes or get-togethers, and they're at car shows, and you get together with 6-10 other guys, girls that all do the same artwork, and you're hanging out and you're in the same area and you have a good time. But then car show people that I know come up, and I end up talking with 4 or 5 of them throughout the day, and then car show people or car owners or customers that know the other 5 pinstripers in the booth come up and talk to them. And so even though we're hanging out in the same space, it's never really an opportunity to actually sit down, talk shop. Hey, what brushes are you using? What kind of paint have you tried out? What problems have you had? Have you ever had issues with this? How do I fix this? a real opportunity to actually get together with artists and like talk paint, talk about new trends, talk about what other people are doing, and like things you want to try, get feedback. So I wanted to do something of that nature that was geared towards pinstripers. And not all pinstripers are custom painters, and not all custom painters do pinstriping. So wanted to kind of do something that just focused on those that use a brush, paint it by hand. Nothing against people that do it in other ways. Is just, I want this to be the focus of what I'm doing. I want this kind of people to be there so they can get together, talk, learn from one another, and then let's do something where we can each take something cool home at the end of the day. So that's where that came from. No different than somebody wanting to put on a car show for a reliability run for cars that fit into a certain era, whether it's pre-1946 or if it's, you know, one of the coolest shows I have seen yet from the lens on Instagram and Facebook was probably the C10 retreat in Moab this past May. C10 Club Utah, a bunch of other like local truck guys put it on. Looked awesome. I don't own a C10. I was not there. Would have loved to have gone, but you know, when you have Fords, that's not the party you get to go to. You have somebody that does just a generic trucks and tacos, it's awesome. You go, you got Isuzus, you got Chevys, GMCs, Fords, mini trucks, all the different things. A little bit different, but so this was geared towards pinstripers. This was geared towards just having the artists there. This was something that I wanted to do. And the idea was simply that, get people that are into the same thing together to talk, learn from one another, and have a good time. So, a couple people made this happen. Couple people, I guess the premise of the event was we got together at my friend Kyle's shop. I don't have, filming this in my little 2-car townhome garage because I don't have much shop space. I can only fit like 4 or 5 people in here comfortably with tables. But I wanted to have 16 to 20 pinstripers. I wanted everybody to get a panel. And the idea was over the course of the day, you're going to pinstripe something on that panel, whether you add lettering or monsters or leaf or whatever. At minimum, there had to be some pinstripes on there. And so we cut out X number of panels, sent out invites to this number of pinstripers, and I have to be honest, like there's probably a handful of pinstripers in Utah that I haven't personally met, so nothing against them, wasn't trying to exclude anybody, I just haven't met you. And so this was kind of where I had this number of people that I wanted to have. I focused on who I've been involved with at Culture Crash, who I've been with at like the Stags show, who I've seen out and about at other car shows the last 3-4 years that I know are currently like involved in doing artwork. So there's a few others that I know that I haven't seen out striping at shows in 4 or 5 years that very well could have been there. But like I said, I focused on who I know has been out and active right now and sent invites out that way. So my friend Kyle opened the doors to his shop. My old paint supplier, Jed, at Jones Paint and Glass, was on board from day one. He said, let me donate all your colors, your clear coat for these panels. My coworker, Rob, up at Altered Customs, our machinist, went in on a weekend with me and ran the artwork on the computer and then sent it to the router, and we cut out panels in 4 different shapes. And then I'd been going down over the last couple months on weekends to help Kyle get the shop cleaned up and organized and ready. And in the meantime, other people were looking at their invites, clearing calendars and whatnot. During our trip to California, we went to Coast, bought a handful of pinstriping brushes, boxes, other supplies, ordered a handful of other brushes and brush boxes and brush oil from Vondago, who also sent out a bunch of extra swag to put in some goodie bags, on top of On top of donating paint for panels and everything, Jed threw in some Jones Paint and Glass merch, tape, other just supplies we were able to put in goodie bags for everybody. And then the idea was, come show up, come hang out, come paint a panel in this time frame. We'll have lunch, and then at the end of the day, you're going to trade your finished panel with somebody else. You're going to get to take somebody else's panel home. Because, let's see. I mean, this isn't all of them. We've got more hanging in the house, but just a handful of these panels I've got here in the corner come from other artists. I collect what other people do along the same lines as what I do. So it's not uncommon to do like a panel swap, but putting people on the spot and having them in person to do something that day and then trade at the end of the day kind of eliminates the problem that I've had in the past. I don't know how many of you have arranged a panel swap with somebody online through Instagram or Facebook, and then you put some time and effort into a panel, you ship it off, and you never get one in return. I think that's happened like 3 times now. It's pretty lame. Have the common courtesy to return the favor. So, to eliminate that issue and that potential problem, everybody gets together. Everybody is given a panel. Everybody brings their own paint, brushes, and everything. Stripes, paints that panel, letters it, whatever they want to do throughout the course of the day. And you got to finish by a certain time. Then we gave away some of this stuff. We gave away the brushes. We gave away brush boxes. I ground those down, put candy over them, over the grind patterns, cleared them. Gave away brushes combined with some of the Jones merch and different things, and some of the extra panels. Like, just wanted it to be focused around pinstriping. So all the tools we gave away were pinstriping brushes or oils or brush boxes or different things related to our craft. And I think we had a great time. I definitely could have had a few more people there. Other artists that had conflicts with, different things going on in life. But there's room to grow, and I think we had a great time. Everybody took home something rad. Where's my panel? Here's a panel that I brought home. This was from Mazuma Mike. Kind of cool that, a handful of the people actually put Scotty's Stripe and Swap or Scotty's Panel Jam on there. And I was lucky that one of the ones I brought home actually had my name on it. Little souvenir from that. So that was pretty cool. But it was cool because we had artists there that had been anywhere in the local scene, anywhere from like 3 or 4 years to all the way up to guys that have been striping for almost 70 years. We talked about that. We talked about, we got to hang out and talk like, what do the older guys, what do the veterans want to see from the next generation? What do they want to see us continue on, or what do they want to see come back? Things that maybe have faded away with trends and things. What do you want us as like the new people carrying the torch of this craft and this industry to do? Like, how do you want to see it like grow and continue to stay alive? And so it was really cool to get to hear some of that feedback. It was really cool to hear some of those ideas and just bring a group of people together that all come together over like a common like craft or art medium, and spend some time together and hang out and learn. Some people got to meet new people. Other people got to reconnect with others that haven't been around for a while, or that they just haven't been at the same events for a while. It was just, like I said, I'd always wanted to go to an event like this where you go, you get to paint something, you get to take something home. Because when you do the charity auctions and you're the artist and you're donating, my personal situation the last however long we've been involved with Culture Crash or the Rap Fink reunion or anything, I've been in college, I've been a young father, there's just all these other expenses. Maybe I've got this amount of money to spend, and the piece of artwork that I see that I want, suddenly is just cruising up in the numbers, and it's out of reach. Can't afford it. So this was a cool opportunity to be able to provide that for myself and the other artists, to be able to take something home that, you know, wasn't going to be out of reach over a dollar amount. It was just, you show up and come paint something cool, and you're going to get to take something cool home in return. So yeah. So Kyle hosted. Kyle opened up his shop, his space to us. Can't say thank you enough for that. It wouldn't have happened without him. Jed donating paint, helping make that happen. Rob, obviously cutting the panels and everything. And then some of the other people, Kyle Anderson, that donated some money and materials from Pinstripe Preservation to make it happen. And of course, all the artists that chipped in, like an entry fee to be able to cover the supplies and everything to make it happen. Beyond that, the name Stripe and Swap came from my buddy James. James and I worked at Triple R together once upon a time for a couple months, and we've been involved in a lot of other car shows, Culture Crash, Rap Fink, all that stuff together. And with the absence of Culture Crash and never having finished a truck to be on the t-shirt artwork in the time we were doing the show, I still wanted James to do some sort of artwork for me in regards to something that had the Culture Crash vibe, which is just, James did our t-shirt artwork, and so I asked him if he'd do something with a couple of monsters, striping, swapping panels, doing something. And so this is what he came up with. It's very much got the Culture Crash vibe to it, but the monsters striping and swapping the panels goes more along with this event. So I can't say thank you to him enough. I think this turned out awesome. I think it was a hit as far as stickers and whatnot that we gave out to the people that came. But yeah, just a real small get together of just artists this year. No external people other than the sponsors that help make it happen. But there's room to grow. There's room to give another run and see what happens. I have some other ideas, some other elements I'd like to bring into it. I'd love to get some artists from out of state to come to attend, and we'll just have to see what happens. This is the first year. I didn't totally know what to expect, and just tried to, like I said, keep it small and see what happens, and we'll go from there. So, very humbled to have had so much support in the first year, in the first attempt at it. So to have had some of the longtime guys like Bruno and Keith and Gene, and, you know, even some of the some of the younger guys that I look up to. Younger is in older than me, but younger than the other, like, 3 local, like, living legends that I mentioned, you know. Was just humbling to have the support and attendance from some of those guys. And I hope it turns into something more. So yeah, I guess in recap, as far as pinstriping goes, you know, whatever you're doing, whatever your craft is, whatever you do, or if you are involved in something where you're trying to get support from people like that in a charity situation or support in your event, I mean, you don't have to take out a loan or anything to do it, but just make sure they feel taken care of, make sure that they feel like they're appreciated. And we heard one story over the weekend as we were all talking about one person who had arranged to set up at a show and be there, and they were going to get a booth space, and they were going to get to, donate a few items, but then like have their booth space taken care of. And when they got to the show, the situation was totally different, and the promoters basically told them like anything they brought that day they needed to donate, but anything that they painted on site that day they were welcome to sell and give away. And it's just like, wait, what? I can maybe paint like 2 or 3 things in that day, but I brought like 30 panels, and you want me to just donate all of this but only sell like 2 or 3 that I haven't even started yet? Kind of messed up. So anyway, the artists, the pinstripers, the crafty people, I feel like are some of the most generous, giving people you will find, and don't always expect things in return. They don't always expect things in return when they donate to help you, but if you take care of them, if you do things to help them feel appreciated, they're going to keep coming back and supporting you. So just some thoughts there. And so I hope that those that supported me in this event this year with the thank you panels and different like little care packages and stuff I've done for them, I hope that they feel appreciated and that they'll be on board again for next year. And we'll see what this turns into. So anyway, gonna try to have some welds on this chassis before I do this film thing again. Going to SEMA next week, and sure that'll bring some more stories and adventures with it. But anyway, have a good night. Thank you for listening. And yeah, I don't even know what else. It's Monday. My brain is fried.